Mostly loss is what teaches how much something means to us. The Mongol Empire is invading our home. They are brutal, relentless, unstoppable. We are 80 samurai against an army, fighting to slow the invasion. Today, I die for my people. There must be thousands of them.
Jin Sakai spoke aloud.
We will face death. Defend our home. Tradition. Courage. Honor. They are what make us. We are the warriors of Tsushima. We are samurai.
Lord Shimura, which was Jin Sakai's uncle, encouraged the others, which led to a cheer from the other samurai.
Lord Adachi, go break their spirits.
One of the samurai rode down to the army of Mongols gathering on the beach. He told them to bring their finest warrior. Khotan Khan, the Mongol leader, stood forward. He set Lord Adachi on fire and then with one sweep of a spear took his head off.
Samurai, do you surrender?
Lord Shimura was furious.
Cowards without honor deserve no mercy. No mercy!
They charged down the hill into the Mongol army. Jin awoke on a cliffside, his wounds bandaged up. With a pained grunt, he got up and walked into a house down the cliff. Komoda town was under siege. Jin looked for his armor and katana in the house. He was about to walk out the door when a girl walked in.
Who are you?
My name's Yuna. I brought you off the beach.
Why?
She hesitated.
I couldn't leave you to die.
Where's my katana?
I sold it to get the supplies I need to save you.
That's the katana of Clan Sakai.
Jin was shocked.
Follow me and we'll get it back.
They snuck through buildings, evading the Mongols. They walked through various houses. They used the bushes to hide. They eventually arrived in the house where Jin's armor and katana was. They retrieved Jin's katana. He got a flashback of his father's death as he picked it up.
You okay?
Asked Yuna. Jin nodded.
Let's go.
They arrived at the horse stables. Mongols surrounded the stables.
We can be quiet. Slit their throats from behind.
No, we face them up front with honor.
I didn't save you just to watch you throw your life away.
I won't betray my code of honor. We face them head on.
Jin finished and charged into the 5 Mongols. One by one they fell. Now he had to pick a horse for his journey. He chose a black horse and named him Nobu, meaning trust.
Yuna, before we go after the Khan, I need to free my uncle. They got him captured in Castle Canada.
Yuna took a deep breath.
I need your help first.
So there was a reason you saved me.
My brother, he's a blacksmith. The Mongols captured him and he means everything to me. Save him and he'll make whatever tool you need to save your uncle.
Okay. Deal.
Meet me at the hut by the river when you're ready.
I will.
Before Jin could help Yuna, he went looking for Sensei Ishikawa, the best archer on the island. To free his uncle, he'd need an army. If he had survived the invasion, he'd be at his dojo at the top of Hayoshi Springs. He found him there. They said hi, surprised to still see each other alive. He agreed to join Jin's fight to save his uncle. The next person Jin needed to find was Lady Mazuko and her clan. They would be of assistance. Jin got to the Adachi state in the Golden Forest, but it was empty. He followed a trail of blood and found Mazuko at a graveyard. She was grieving. A group of bandits had murdered her entire family. She had buried adults and children, one by one. She sought revenge on the killers, but told Jin once he was ready, she'd be there to help free his uncle.
Just promise me, Mazuko, that if you ever want to talk, you talk to me. I'll make sure you're okay.
I promise.
Lady Mazako also gave Jin a new pair of armor to wear. He got it from the armorer at the Golden Temple. Jin eventually met Yuna by the lake. She led Jin to a fort that Tucker, her brother, might be captured in.
The fort has only just been built. We can find a way to sneak in.
Yuna told Jin. Jin found a crack in the wall and they snuck in. A guard was in their way to get to the cages.
We can slit his throat. Get in sneakily.
Me and my uncle follow a strict code of honor. That's against it.
The Mongols know how you work. You don't stand a chance if you continue down this path. You'll be dead before you even free your uncle.
Yuna looked at Jin. Jin got out his tanto, a short knife-like blade. He went up behind the guard and dug the blade into his throat.
When you kill an enemy, you look them in the eye. Only cowards strike from the shadows.
Words from his uncle echoed all over his brain.
I'm sorry, uncle, but I have to,
whispered Jin. They snuck in and around the fort, but Tucker wasn't there. One of the captives said a blacksmith got moved to Azazmo Bay. Yuna told him to meet him in a small house near Azazmo Bay. First, Jin needed to recruit the Straw Hat Ronins to help him fight. Jin went looking for the Straw Hat Ronin. Instead, he found his old childhood friend, Ryuzo.
You don't look so great,
laughed Jin.
You've looked better too,
he responded. They had a laugh, said their hellos.
So you're the leader of the Straw Hat Ronin now, huh? What are you doing all the way out here? Looking for food for my men. Take me to your camp. We can discuss a plan there to raid a fort. Steal their food.
When there, Ryuzo gave Jin a new set of clothes. In a cemetery above the fort, Jin, Ryuzo, and some of his men got ready to charge in.
We don't back down,
Ryuzo encouraged his men. They cheered and stormed the fort. One by one, the Mongols fell until only Jin, Ryuzo, and his men were left.
We did it.
Jin went to Ryuzo.
Where's all the food? I didn't see any in the houses. My men are starving, Jin. If we don't find food soon, we won't make it. Okay, Ryuzo, go to your camp. I have something I need to do, but when I'm there, I'll have a plan. I'm counting on you,
Ryuzo told Jin and rode off with his men. Jin arrived at the house Yuna talked about. He went in to find another person. This is the samurai, he joked.
My name is Jin Sakai, and we request your help.
He realized who he was and bowed to him. Forgive me, Lord Sakai.
My friend here, Kenji, is gonna put us in a cart, sneak us in,
Yuna explained.
Don't they check the carts?
Jin asked. No, not anymore. I deliver sake to the Mongols, Kenji spoke. You do business with the enemy. Jin took a step forward. I keep the Mongols drunk, and they let me keep my head. After they settled their argument, Yuna and Jin got in the cart and snuck into Azazmo Bay. They took to the rooftops, leaving Kenji to keep the Mongols drunk. They found Tucker and freed him. He was relieved to see Yuna again and told Jin he owed him. They snuck out of Azazmo Bay and went to Komatsu Forge. They fought off the Mongols there, and Tucker lit up the forge.
I won't fail you, my lord,
he said as he got to work on a tool to scale the walls of Castle Canada. As Jin walked out into the village, he heard Yuna spreading rumors of him, saying his way of fighting is not like any other samurai.
Vengeful demon, huh?
Jin asked Yuna.
I think they liked it. The people of Tsushima need someone to believe in. That's you. They're calling you the ghost.
Jin simply nodded, said bye, and went to find Ryuzo. Jin found Ryuzo and told him the plan. They were going to raid a Mongol warship. They snuck a boat and boarded it. They took out the Mongols on it and came face to face with a big one. They took him down and found no food to take.
Did you see how big that guy was? That's where all our food went,
Ryuzo joked and turned serious.
I promised my men food, and I'm coming back empty-handed.
Jin gave his friend a list of supply lines. He asked Ryuzo if he'd help him save his uncle, along with his men. He agreed. Jin went back to the forge. Yuna told him Tucker had finished.
I call it a grapple.
Tucker gave it to Jin.
It will support my weight. I tested it myself.
Tucker responded.
Thank you. I'm in your debt.
Jin thanked him. Tucker shook his head.
No, I have my life back. My sister, that's all I need. Thank you, Jin, for everything you've helped us with.
Jin nodded and left. Ryuzo rode over to Jin.
Jin, some of my men have been captured. I need your help.
Ryuzo looked Jin straight in the eye.
Show me where they are.
They mounted their horses and started riding towards the fort. They were captured and a cool breeze brushed against them.
I heard stories of people calling you the ghost. Jin Sakai not good enough. Worried I'm gonna get more famous than you.
Ryuzo let out a soft laugh. They arrived at the top of the fort, atop a mountain. Ryuzo was waiting for Jin to free his men and release a signal, then the rest of his men would attack and they would escape.
The road in will be heavily guarded. I'll go up the cliffside.
Jin told Ryuzo.
What are you, half monkey? No, I have a gift from a friend.
Jin used the grapple to get atop the mountain. He freed the men and did the warning signal. They managed to kill the Mongols. Ryuzo went to talk to Jin.
My men were singing last night. The Mongols fed them. Good food too. At least they're fed, Ryuzo. Why would the Mongols feed my men?
Ryuzo asked. Jin shrugged and told Ryuzo to keep looking at those supply lines. Then he got onto Nobu and rode off to find Yuna, Sensei Ishikawa, and Lady Mazuko. They all stood at the bottom of Castle Canada, ready to charge in.
Was told we'd have Ronin back.
Yuna said, getting impatient.
Okay, enough waiting for them. We strike now. You lot, wait here. I'll scale the fort and open the gate from the inside.
Jin told the first part of the plan. So Jin used his hook, swinging from tree to tree, sneaking in and opening the gate.
Good job.
Yuna told him.
Why didn't your brother come?
He's not a fighter. He's waiting at the forge until it's over.
Yuna explained. Jin explained to the others.
We do this quietly. Like a thief.
Ishikawa looked at Yuna. Yuna looked to Jin.
Or a ghost.
Jin nodded. He told Ishikawa and Mazuko to take down certain parts of the fort. Jin and Yuna went together, silently taking out the guards.
Why didn't your friend Ryuzo show up?
His men were starving. They might have turned on him. People get desperate when they're hungry.
Jin told Yuna. They reached a bridge. Jin told Yuna to stay, and he used his grapple to go under the bridge and into the main keep. He crawled under the fence. Ryuzo sat on the edge of a pond. His hand dipped into the water.
Ryuzo?
Jin was confused. Ryuzo looked up.
The Khan put a bounty on the ghost. Anyone can claim it. You wouldn't.
Jin walked closer to Ryuzo.
My men are starving, Jin. Help me free my uncle, and he will reward your men. He will make you samurai. I know you've always wanted that. And then he'll send us to die, just like he did at Komoda Beach. I can't lose you, Ryuzo. Here's your family, Jin. I need to protect mine. Everyone I have ever cared for has either died or left me. Everyone except for you. So don't tell me I'd be better off without you, because the truth is, I just feel more hopeless. I need to protect my men. Ryuzo.
They drew their blades, circling each other, and then their blades clashed. Ryuzo was quick, but Jin was more experienced with the blade. The swords collided.
I'll make it quick.
Jin was hurt.
We were friends. A lifetime ago.
Jin raised his blade and did a spinning attack, cutting Ryuzo's arm. Not deadly, but enough for blood to rush out. The blades collided again. Jin locked eyes with them, keeping his blade steady.
Stop, before it's too late.
He didn't stop.
You've changed. So have you, ghost.
Ryuzo then tried to stun Jin with a kick. Eventually Jin knocked Ryuzo to the ground.
Enough! It's not too late. Help us fight for our home. It belongs to them now.
Ryuzo fled as a Mongol archer shot at Jin. He fought off the remaining Mongols and eventually freeing his uncle. Castle Canada was once again theirs. Jin sat with Yuna.
Thank you for helping me free my uncle.
No, thank you for saving Taka. He means the world to me.
Yuna patted Jin on the back. So are you going to help us defeat Krutan Khan and send these Mongols back into the sea?
Jin asked. Yuna took a deep breath.
I'm sorry, but no. I have my brother back, and he means the world to me. I can't lose him. We plan to sail somewhere peaceful. Start a new life.
Stay. Tsushima is your home.
No, Jin. This is your home, not mine.
Yuna finished.
I could use your help fighting against the Mongols.
You don't need me. You have your uncle.
I need every ally I can trust.
Jin smiled at Yuna.
I can't risk losing Taka.
I understand. I will talk to my uncle about arranging a boat for you.
Thank you.
Jin walked up to his uncle.
I heard of your exploits, Jin. I heard of you stabbing those enemies in the back without honor. I did what I had to save you, uncle. I know. You don't need to do that anymore. Help me raid a fort near the sea. Help me deliver a message to the shogun.
Lord Shimura told Jin.
Yes, uncle, but first my friend Yuna and her brother would like to sail somewhere peaceful.
Jin explained.
They can help us take back my family castle from the Khan. Then I'll arrange a boat for them.
Shimura commanded.
Now, tell me about this girl that rescued you. Ishikawa said she's a thief. Yuna has a good heart. She means well.
Jin wanted his uncle to trust Yuna.
Be careful where you place your faith, Jin. You were friends with Ryuzo. And that didn't end well. I know, but Yuna's different. I trust her.
Jin finished. Jin and Shimura stood on a cliff surveying the fort.
Stay, Nobu.
Jin tied his trusty horse to a tree.
One day, I promise, we'll go for a peaceful ride.
He walked over to his uncle.
We go on the front gates, blades out. Once the fort is clear, my friend will deliver my message to the shogun.
Shimura explained to Jin.
What's in the message?
Jin asked.
Request for samurai reinforcements to help take back my castle.
They walked up to the front gate and stormed the fort. Killed all the Mongols, leaving Lord Shimura's friend to sail to Japan and deliver their message.
Jin, that message contains something more than just requesting samurai reinforcements. I requested to formally adopt you as my own son.
Shimura announced to Jin. Jin took a deep breath.
I won't fail you, uncle.
Jin said confidently. Yuna rode on horseback into the fort.
I was wondering when me and Taka would be able to set sail.
Yuna asked.
Help us retake my castle, and you'll be on the first ship to the mainland.
This isn't my fight, Jin. I just want my brother to be safe, and staying here isn't doing that.
If you help us take back my castle, you will be rewarded.
Shimura once again told Yuna. Yuna looked at the floor, trying to hide the fact that she was annoyed.
Fine. If you need extra soldiers, I recommend recruiting the people of Yarikawa. They can help.
I'll meet you there. First, I need to claim something.
Jin announced. Yuna rode off to Yarikawa.
Find me in my training camp once the samurai have arrived.
Shimura also rode off. Before Jin set off, he was told that Lady Mazuko was acting strangely. He said he'd find her later and see if she was okay. Jin rode Nobu, his trusty horse, all the way to his hometown, Omi village. He was here to collect his father's armor. He walked into his family home to find it missing. He heard footsteps behind him and turned around to see his old carer, Yuriko. She fell to her knees sobbing.
Oh, young master, I feared you were dead.
Well, I'm not. The Mongol leader, Khotan Khan, took Lord Shimra captive, but we freed him. I'm here to claim my father's armor.
You were meant to wear it. Into battle. You said you were not ready.
Yuriko stood up.
I am now. Where is it?
Jin looked around.
I hid it near your mother and father's graves. Follow.
Jin put on the armor.
You look just like your father.
Yuriko told him proudly.
I have a question, Yuriko.
Yes, young master.
Can you make poison strong enough to kill men?
Yes. But why would the samurai require that?
Asked Yuriko.
A lot has changed.
Jin told Yuriko. Jin had the poison and was on his way to Yarikawa when he saw Lady Mazuko. She was doing business with the enemy.
Mazuko!
She looked at Jin as he walked over. The Mongol she was doing business with, Jin tied to a tree for questioning.
What are you doing?
I'm taking revenge for my family's killers.
But why make deals with the Mongols?
Because they said they would actually help.
Mazuko drew her sword.
If we fight, the Mongols win.
They've already won.
Mazuko sounded hopeless. Jin drew his blade. Mazuko aimed straight for Jin's head, but he quickly blocked the attack.
My friend.
Give me the Mongol.
No.
Mazuko ran at Jin with her sword aimed at his heart. Jin sidestepped out of the way. Their blades collided together.
You're making the same mistake as Ryuzo, making deals with the enemy. You let your anger consume you. It blinds you to your true friends.
You're letting the people who killed my family get away with it.
You told me you'd talk to me if something was wrong. You promised me.
My promise is to my family.
Mazuko aimed for Jin's legs, but he jumped. Mongols were riding towards them.
Don't you see? They are the enemy. You should be against them, not each other.
Jin knocked Mazuko's blade to the ground.
Don't make the same mistake as Ryuzo did. We can still be friends.
Jin handed Mazuko's sword to her. She nodded and started heading towards Lord Shimra's camp.
Mazuko,
Jin called out. She turned around.
don't ever try to kill me again. You must learn to see your true friends apart from the false.
She let off a weak smile and started walking to Lord Shimra's camp. Jin arrived at Yarikawa, his pockets full of a deadly poison.
Shh, get down.
Yuna took Jin behind a bush. Taka was also there. She explained that the Mongols were trying to get into Yarikawa. The leader, General Temuge, had given them one night to let them in, or they do it with brute force. Jin followed Yuna and Taka through a secret passageway they used as kids. Taka and Yuna grew up in this town. Once they were in, they explained to the people what they were doing. Taka talked to an old friend. Yuna and Jin sat at the top of a house. They were waiting for the Mongols to attack. Yuna was seeming hopeless.
They killed the samurai. What chance do a bunch of farmers have?
Yuna doubted herself. She doubted everyone.
We have to try.
Jin attempted to encourage her.
Here, I think you need this more than I do.
Yuna handed Jin a bottle of sake. He nodded in thanks. 5 bottles each later, they were both drunk and now drinking tea.
This tastes horrible.
Jin looked at the bottle.
My mother liked it. She'd always come out running, "Where's my tea?"
They both chuckled.
Sounds like a demanding woman.
Jin took another sip from the bottle.
She broke Tucker's arm when he was 6. I took him away. They found her a month later, face down in the street.
Yuna told Jin. Jin looked at Yuna.
You were brave. To protect your brother.
Jin took a deep breath.
Sometimes, our only option is to walk away from everything we know.
Yuna nodded.
We should probably get some rest.
Yuna awoke Jin. The siege had started. Tucker ran towards the two.
Jin! Yuna! The Mongols are breaking through the gate! Whatever we do, we don't back down.
Peasant called out.
There he is, the ghost. He'll protect us.
A tsunami of Mongols swept into Yarikawa. Jin fought them off. People were dying left, right and center. The Mongols then started firing their siege weapons. Huge explosive got launched into Yarikawa. Jin then snuck out up a near cliff where the siege weapons were. He disabled the siege weapons and ran back into Yarikawa.
They broke through the walls. Won't be easy, but we can still drive them out.
Jin slaughtered many Mongols to reach Temuge. The ground covered in bodies, Jin stood face to face with General Temuge.
The ghost! The Khan will reward me for your head.
Jin drew his sword.
My name is Jin Sakai, and I have killed men like you all over our island. Your blood will soak the island.
General Temuge used his shield to set his sword on fire. Jin did some quick dodges and got Temuge.
Careful, Temugi. You can't get Colton's reward if you're dead. A lucky blow. You will not get another.
Temuge was confident. The swords collided after a lot of dodging and missed hits.
Leave Tsushima now, and I might show you mercy. Yarikawa will burn.
Temuge bashed Jin in the face with his shield. Jin was quick to stand back on his feet. Once again, the swords collided.
You've killed men in many countries, Temuge, but here, you die.
With that, Jin hit Temuge in the right spot and he fell to his knees. Jin looked out onto the remaining Mongols advancing towards him. Jin stabbed Temuge right through the stomach and cut his head clean off. The Mongols stared in fear.
Look at your general. Run, or this will be your fate.
Jin yelled, killing 3 other Mongols in front of him. The people of Yarikawa picked up all the weapons they could find.
For Yarikawa,
They yelled.
hunt every Mongol to the last man. Spare no one.
Jin encouraged them as they chased the Mongols right out of Yarikawa.
Keep going.
Soon, no Mongols remained. The people of Yarikawa gathered.
We saved your home. Now, we help Lord Shimra save our island.
We are not soldiers.
The citizen yelled.
Who killed these Mongols? Who stood against their siege? Who saved Yarikawa? We did.
Tucker announced with confidence.
You can't just stay here and wait for the Mongols to try again.
Yuna added.
You say you are not soldiers. You are warriors. We can defeat the invaders, save our home, but only if we stand together.
The people of Yarikawa bowed to Jin, agreeing to join his fight. Jin was walking through the forest when he came across a Ronin. He stood in the middle of a field of spider lilies. He drew his blade.
Ryuzo sent me to find you. He has a gift for you. Meet him at the fort near Omi village. No.
Jin drew his blade. They prepared to fight. Jin swung his sword towards the Ronin. He tried jumping and swinging, then kicked him. Blades collided.
You grew up in a castle. It made you soft. Then why are you out of breath?
Jin easily outdid this Ronin. He was weak compared to him.
You waste Ryuzo's gift to you. You waste the air we breathe.
Jin ended the Ronin. He then decided to go to the fort and find Ryuzo. Ryuzo betrayed him and had worked for the enemy. He couldn't let him get away with that. Before going to meet Ryuzo, Jin went to Yuna for help.
Yuna, I know where Ryuzo is. I need your help.
Yuna looked to Tucker and to Jin. and shook her head.
I can't. Our boat to the mainland leaves tomorrow. I've spent my whole life working for this. Going to bed hungry, saving up enough money to start a new life on the mainland. Please understand. I can't give up now.
I'm not asking you to. Help me defeat Ryuzo, and I'll see you off myself.
This is your fight, Jin, not ours.
Jin nodded.
I hope you find peace.
From a cliff, Jin surveyed the fort. His chances didn't look good, as the place was swarming with Mongols. He saw Ryuzo walk into one of the buildings. Then he heard a horse coming up behind him. Tucker rode beside Jin.
What are you doing? I couldn't leave the ghost to do this alone. I followed you. No, go back to Yuna. It's too dangerous. At least let me lead the Mongols away. Make it easier for you to get in. Fine. Ride back to Lord Shimmer's training camp. You'll be safe there with Yuna. I won't fail the ghost.
Tucker rode down yelling at the Mongols. When they left the fort after him, Jin went in. Ryuzo was there. He confronted him.
Stand down, Ryuzo. You're alone now. No. You walked into my trap.
Jin was hit from behind. Jin awoke, tied to a pole. Tucker was also tied to a pole across from him.
I told you to go to Lord Shimmer's camp. I did. You didn't return though, so I figured something was wrong. I went looking for you.
There was footsteps from behind. Khotan Khan, the Mongol leader.
Be brave, Tucker.
The Mongol leader walked up to them, holding Jin's sword.
Ah, the ghost. We finally meet in person. I have heard various stories of you. You see, we are quite alike.
Jin shook his head.
We are in no way alike. You see, that's where you're wrong. We both do what we must, yes? You do what you do to survive, as do I. Join me. Convince your people to join us. End this war. We will never join you. You wish to divide and conquer. You did it to Ryuzo, not us. I know what it's like to live in one's shadow. Why settle for scraps when we deserve to be legends? He is a legend.
Tucker spoke to the Khan.
See? Your people will follow you. Now, do the right thing. Join us and bring peace to your home.
Jin kept quiet.
Oh, it seems your legend no longer cares about you.
He untied Tucker from the pole and handed him the sword.
You kill him, you can go.
Tucker looked at Jin, slowly walking forwards.
Run.
Jin whispered. Tucker shook his head and turned, attempting to hit the Khan. He missed, and the Khan kicked him to the floor. Tucker tried to crawl away, but the Khan raised the sword.
Tell Yuna that.
Tucker was dead, a sword impaled right through his neck. The Khan reached down and ripped his head off, dangling it in front of Jin's face.
He died for you. Now, I must find another. And you must choose again.
He chucked the head into the bush and left Jin tied to the pole. Jin was in shock. Jin freed himself, grabbed his belongings, and went to leave the fort. Then Yuna arrived, looking for Tucker.
He left a note saying he went after the ghost. Where is he?
Jin shook his head.
No.
Wait, Yuna, don't go that way.
Jin yelled out as she ran towards Tucker's corpse. Jin tried to stop her, but all he heard was a massive scream. Jin walked up behind Yuna, who was kneeling next to Tucker's lifeless body.
He wanted to help.
He wasn't meant to be here. You shouldn't have made him come.
Yuna had tears pouring down her cheeks. Jin heard Mongols coming.
Yuna, we need to go.
I'm not leaving him like this.
Yuna looked at Jin. Jin unsheathed his sword. Jin and Yuna were at Tucker's grave. They paid their respects to him.
Was he brave? In the end,
Yuna asked.
He was always brave.
Jin turned to Yuna. Yuna nodded, a tear rolling down her cheek.
there's nowhere to go now, except stay and fight.
Yuna looked to the sky. They said their goodbyes to Tucker and got on their horses, riding toward Shimra's camp. The attack to take back his castle was to begin. Jin went to check in with Yuna before the attack began.
Did you manage to get any sleep?
Jin asked.
I couldn't.
I'm sorry. Tucker should be here right now.
He believed in you. Now so do the people of Yarikawa, because you stood up for them when no one else would. They're risking their lives for the ghost.
I would give my life for the people of Tsushima. And for you.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
They rode to Lord Shimra's castle, now 80 samurai strong, and an extra 30 fighters.
We heard people calling you the ghost.
A samurai said to Jin.
The people of Tsushima needed something to believe in. I gave them that. Well, you are no longer required to do that. Yes, my lord.
They arrived at the castle. Jin left Nobu with the other horses, told him after the battle they'd go on a peaceful ride. Lord Shimra spoke up.
Warriors of Tsushima, today we take back my castle and take the Khan's head. We will deliver it personally to the Shogun. Tomorrow we celebrate victory for Tsushima.
They charged into the fort. They took all the Mongols head on. They were winning against impossible odds. They got to one of the walls.
Jin, climb that ladder. Scout ahead.
Shimra told him. Jin did that, and when he saw how many Mongols were there, he jumped down and used poison darts on them all. Lord Shimra broke through the barrier with all the other samurai as Jin beheaded a Mongol from behind.
Jin! I was clearing the way. Uncle. No, never like that. We faced them with honor. Honor died on the beach. The Khan deserved to suffer.
Shimra hit Jin in the face. Jin looked at him in disgust and walked off to gather supplies.
Jin, wait. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
They had set up camp in the lower part of the castle as they got ready to continue the attack the next day. Jin, however, had other plans. He walked up to Yuna.
Here's all the poison I could find.
Thank you.
What are you planning?
I'm gonna put it in their drinks. Watch the Khan choke on his own blood.
Your uncle's gonna find out.
I know.
Finished Jin. Before Jin left, Yuna gave him a new armor set that Tucker was working on for him. He had named it the Ghost Armor. Jin snuck into the parts of the castle they hadn't taken yet. He snuck the poison into their drinks. They took a sip, and one by one, the Mongols died from the poison. Jin got out of his hiding spot and went into the main keep. He opened the door.
Jin,
It was Ryuzo.
where's the Khan?
Jin questioned him.
He rode north. Made me stay behind to collect the ghost's head.
Jin drew his sword.
Then come, claim it.
Ryuzo grabbed his sword sheath and put it in his left hand.
No. I could have killed you earlier. Instead, I convinced the Khan to give you a chance.
Jin had a disgusted look on his face.
He murdered Tucker. And you slaughtered my men. I've lost everything. Except you. Should have thought about that before you betrayed me. Now you come back to me, realizing, only for it to be too late.
Ryuzo slowly started walking towards Jin.
We can defeat the Mongols together.
Jin ran forwards and stood in front of Ryuzo, sword pointed at his neck.
After everything you've done!
Jin let all his hatred out.
Tell the people I was your spy. They'll believe the ghost. Stop! You were my oldest friend, Ryuzo. Stand down and answer for your crimes. For both our sakes.
Jin told him. Ryuzo looked at him.
I can't.
He drew his blade. Ryuzo attempted to impale Jin through the stomach, but failed. Jin blocked it.
You should have surrendered. I won't die by your uncle's hand.
Their swords collided, sweat dripping down Ryuzo's face. Jin didn't hold back this time. He'd given Ryuzo a chance, and he didn't take it. He'd made his choice, and now he was going to pay for it. Ryuzo was putting up a good fight, however. His skills in the blade had gotten better since their last duel.
You won't stop me, Ryuzo. The poison. You broke your uncle's code. You left me no choice.
Ryuzo aimed for Jin's legs, but Jin jumped over the attack. Ryuzo then quickly aimed for the head, however Jin managed to block it. Jin let out a quick burst of attacks, each cutting Ryuzo, not finishing him off however. He kept going. Their swords collided once again.
I'll never forgive you.
Jin knocked Ryuzo to the ground, kicking his blade to the other side of the room. Ryuzo sat on his knees.
Jin, please.
He tried begging. Jin took a deep breath and sat on his knees in front of Ryuzo.
Goodbye, Ryuzo.
He impaled him. Ryuzo fell to the ground lifeless. Jin took a deep breath and left the building. Yuna was walking across the field.
Ryuzo.
Good.
Yuna was glad he was gone. They turned around to see Lord Shimura and the other samurai walking towards them. Jin started walking towards his uncle.
The castle is yours. The Khan marches north. We can head him off. You defied me.
Shimura spoke.
I did what I had to. For them.
Jin pointed at the other samurai.
Is this how you want to be remembered?
He defended us.
Yuna added from behind.
By spreading fear and chaos. We are at war. And you are acting like the enemy. This is not our way. Your way can't save our people.
Jin looked Shimura right in the eye.
The Shogun will demand a head, but it does not have to be yours. I know she drove you to this. Uncle, renounce the ghost. Tell them you are Jin Shimura, loyal servant to the Shogun. My heir, my son.
Jin looked Shimura right in the eye and took a deep breath.
I am not your son. I am the ghost. And you will be judged for it.
Jin walked back to Yuna as Shimura walked over to a fire. Jin handed Yuna his sword.
Find the Khan.
Jin.
For Taka. Go!
Yuna went through the main keep, leaving the building. Shimura burned the papers, giving permission to adopt Jin as his son. The samurai took Jin to a holding cell. Days passed. Jin spent those days playing his flute. the final gift from his mother. Then he heard a familiar voice. "My lords, sake, delivery!"
I'm watching the prisoner.
"It's the best sake on the island."
I suppose I could take a quick break.
The guard left the cell. Kenji unlocked the door.
What are you doing?
"What does it look like? There's a broken entryway near the stables. You can get your horse and sneak out."
If I run, I'll never fix things with my uncle.
Jin told Kenji. "And if you stay, he'll ship you off to the Shogun for judgment. The orders just came through. Plus, Yuna needs you. She's at Kin, by the big tree. She's waiting for the ghost," Kenji finished. Jin nodded. "Now, I don't want to be here when they realize you're gone, so I'm gonna go."
Thank you, Kenji.
Jin took to the rooftops, sneaking towards the horse stables. He had to reach Nobu. Jin found Nobu. He didn't see any guards, so he got on.
I'm here, Nobu. Don't worry.
He silently started riding towards the gate when he was spotted.
There he is! On the horse! Stop him! Get him forward!
We have to reach Ken. Yuna's waiting for us.
I'm sorry I couldn't protect you.
Jin arrived at Kin, but the whole town had been burned. He looked around the big tree, but no signs of Yuna. He started walking forwards when he got hit in the back. The Mongols had learned how to make his poison. He slowly walked into the storm of snow ahead, but eventually fell. The last thing he heard was Yuna's voice. He awoke at a house. Yuna had once again saved him and brought him back to health. She said that the Khan was hiding out at a bay. She said she was going to go get Kenji, Sensei Ishikawa, and Lady Mazuko. She told Jin to take back Jogaku Temple to use it as a base of operations. So Yuna went to the others and Jin took an old skinny horse and rode for Jogaku. There wasn't many Mongols, so he easily took back Jogaku Temple. Yuna arrived shortly after with the others and some other fighters. She told Jin she needed to tell him something.
Lady Mazuko said the Mongols have enough poison to take over the mainland. If we don't stop the Khan here, the entire mainland is doomed.
Then wind him here. First, I need to sneak into my uncle's castle. I'll leave a note there, see if he will help. I hope he will join and help us defeat the Khan.
Jin got on his horse and set off. Jin hid the note at the top of Lord Shimra's headquarters. He hoped he would join their fight against the Khan. The letter read,
Uncle, forgive me for not facing you in person. The Khan's fleet have gathered at Port Izumi. His ships are loaded with poison, which will devastate the Shogun's army. But when the next storm arrives, I plan to kill the Khan and sink his fleet. I ask that you join me. I hope we can meet again, if not as father and son, but warriors who have walked different paths. Whatever you believe I've become, I'll always be your family.
Everyone gathered on the outskirts of Port Izumi. Jin had given Mazuko most of the difficult tasks, so she could prove herself again, to prove she knew who her real friends were, and not the Mongols.
Your uncle's not here. We need to attack.
Yuna gave Mazuko the signal to set off the fireworks. They striked. They cut down the Mongols, one by one. Yuna shot the archers from the roofs. Ishikawa, with the perfectly placed bow shots. Jin remembered what he used to say.
One arrow, one death.
They cleared out most of Port Izumi, but the Khan was fleeing to the boats.
I'm going after him.
Jin told them.
Be careful, Jin. I can't lose you after everything we've been through together.
If I fall, promise you keep fighting.
Jin, you don't have to do this. This is your uncle's fight, not yours.
After all we've been through, everything I've done, it can't be for nothing.
Jin left to find the Khan. He was about to go through a door when he saw his uncle's army invading from the south. He smiled and then stood through the gates. The Khan took a sip of whatever he was drinking. Jin stood in front of the Khan, katana in hand. He was ready to fight.
All this death, because you and your uncle would not surrender. I offered you peace, and you chose war. Now, the people of your mainland will suffer.
He held up a bag of poison.
You will never leave this island.
The Khan put his drink down and grabbed his spear. The fight began.
I will avenge the people of Tsushima. Vengeance, the petty wish of a child.
The Khan was strong and was every challenge to Jin. Their weapons collided.
You will never leave Tsushima.
Then Jin hit the Khan right, and the bad spotted his armor and he fell backwards. But he escaped. Jin ran after him as he ran towards the boats. The Khan got what little of his army he had left to fight Jin on the boat. Fires were lit and explosions set off. Soon it was just the Khan left, and Jin delivered the final blow. The Khan dropped his weapon. Jin swung his sword, taking his left arm off.
Kill me, and another will come.
Jin impaled him. He pinned him to a wall with the sword.
We will be remembered forever. No, you will be forgotten.
Jin took the sword out of the Khan and took his head off. He then jumped off the boat onto the beach. It was over. Jin and Yuna were riding back to Jogaku.
You did well.
Yuna told him. Jin nodded.
Before we left, your uncle told me to tell you to meet him under the big red tree by the lake.
I used to train there as a child. I should go.
Of course.
I'm here for you, Yuna. If you ever need anything.
The ghost? No. You belong to everyone.
Jin arrived under the big red tree. He decided to wait on the water's edge for his uncle. He arrived and walked over to him.
I wasn't sure you'd come.
Shimura spoke.
I wanted to talk to you. If we work together, we can defeat the remaining Mongols that is no longer your duty. The Shogun has disbanded Clan Sakai. As of today, you are no longer samurai. New samurai will be occupying your land and estate. I need to say goodbye to my home. Ride with me, Jin.
The two arrived at the Sakai cemetery.
We should pay our respects to your mother and father while we're here. Yes, uncle.
The two walked down to the graves. They looked out to the ocean.
I will miss this. So will I.
Shimura took a moment before he said his next words.
The Shogun has declared you a traitor. He ordered you to kill me.
Jin looked to the ground.
The ghost was an outlaw. You taught our people to defy their leaders, to protect themselves. With poison, a gift you gave to our enemy. I had to stop you from throwing away our people's lives. You have no honor, and you are a slave to it.
Jin's words echoed out to the ocean.
You were my son. Now, I must continue the line of Shimura without you. I must start a new family, and my head is the cost. Taking it is my punishment.
Shimura looked to the ground and back to Jin.
Our final day together. It sure is beautiful.
Shimura handed a piece of paper to Jin.
It's time to write the last words of Clan Sakai
Jin added.
and Clan Shimura.
Shimura nodded and they both walked to opposite ends of the cemetery. Jin the white leaf side and Shimura the red. Jin wrote his final words.
Life is a mystery. You never know when it's going to end. So we fight for every second we get to spend with each other. Either it's 2 minutes, 2 days, or 2 years. We don't give that up, because you never know when someone's day will be their last. Eyes that saw my pain. Destiny divides our souls. Will death redeem us?
Jin looked up from his paper towards his uncle.
I am ready.
They slowly walked towards each other, holding out their sword sheaths. Out in front of them, slowly taking out the blades. Shimura started with a bunch of quick attacks.
I can't fail the Shogun.
Jin dodged Shimura's quick attacks and the blades collided.
The wounds you dealt my spirit will never heal. Killing me will only make them worse. Let me go in peace.
Jin took a step back, blade held high. Shimura took a swing but missed. Jin spoke.
You want revenge for my failure. This is not my revenge. It is my punishment.
Jin managed to take a quick swing at Lord Shimura, and he dropped his sword, falling to his knees.
Honor me. A warrior's death.
He told Jin. Jin put his sword away.
I have no honor. but I will not kill my family. The ghost will be hunted for the rest of his days. And no,
Jin put a black mask over his mouth.
I will always remember you as a great father. Thank you, my son. Find me in the next life. If not as father and son, but warriors who've walked separate paths. I will.
Jin turned and walked towards the stairs, Shimra watching him leave. The wind picked up as a gust of wind and red leaves swept through the